oftentimes they mistake their plans as his purpose. I need to say that again. Unfortunately, many may never discover or fulfill their purpose and their plan because often they mistake their plans for God's purpose for their life. Okay, let me help somebody. You see, some folk try to make their plans his purpose for their life as if to tell God what's best. God, this is the area that I will be most effective in, so this is what I'm going to be doing. Or we take our plans, shove it in the face of God and tell God to bless it. But you must understand that if God deposited it in you, you don't have to ask God to bless his purpose. It's already blessed. That's why it's important for you to know your purpose. You don't want to be wasting precious time spinning your wheels thinking that you're doing the will of God. But I need to know that I'm walking according to his will, abiding in my calling, fulfilling the purpose and the plan of God for my life. I'm almost 50 years old now. I made up my mind, Lady Hawkins, that I was going to separate myself from anything and anybody that's not directly attached, connected, or linked to my purpose. It's too much riding on this. It's too much, oh my God, it's too much at stake. It's too late in the game for us to act like we got a million years to fulfill purpose. I don't know how much time I got left, but I made up my mind that I would spend the rest of my life fulfilling the purpose of God for my life. Somebody clap your hands and bless God in this place. Bible says that all things work together for good. That word together denotes a connection. It denotes a linking together. All things work together for good. The good, the bad, the cute and the ugly, the bitter, the sweet, the ups and the down. It all works together for good. Therefore, you must connect with purpose. Tell your neighbor, connect with purpose. You see, purpose now is the linking or the connecting of things together. Now, these things may not be related by nature, but they're relative in their purpose. Let me help you. The rubber on a tire and the steel frame on an automobile comes from different material, and they have no apparent connections in and of themselves. But what connects them together is their purpose, which is to transport you from point A to point B. What are you saying, Ruby? I'm trying to tell you now that God knows how to connect you with people and resources that are necessary in helping you achieve your purpose. You got to know and be able to recognize a godly connection. God will send some people into your life, and the only reason why they're there is to help you walk into your divine purpose. They don't want anything from you. They don't need anything from you. They don't need to borrow money from you. They don't need you to co-sign for them. The only reason why they are there is to help you fulfill. Somebody help me say purpose. You must understand that if God will send people to assist you, the enemy will send people on an assignment, and their assignment is to disconnect you from your purpose. I feel God in here. You see, the problem is now that a whole lot of you are holding on to folk that you need to let go of, and you're disconnecting from, oh God, from relationships that have been God ordained and divinely orchestrated. You need to know when to connect and when to disconnect. Will you bother your neighbor this morning question, do I need to connect or disconnect from you? Sit. Let me work a little while longer. God knows. He knows how to connect the dots. God, He knows the right recipe. He knows the right ingredients. He knows the right stimuli. He knows what events to allow in your life to get a desired result. You see, God, He knows now how to get the good out of the bad, and He knows how to get bad out of the good. Can you bother your neighbor? Tell him God knows. He knows all the right storms. He knows the right temperature for your fiery furnace. God knows how much pressure to apply to break your will without breaking your spirit. He knows now how to link things together to get a withdrawal on His deposit. Can you look at a neighbor and tell a neighbor, He knows how to take a bad situation. He can turn it around and make it work for your good. Can I get you to lean on a neighbor and help me say, neighbor, whatever you're going through, tell him, let it work for you. You may be crying, but let it work for you. Talked about like a yard dog, but let it work for you. Misused, mistreated, and misunderstood, but let it work. Somebody shout glory. Tell somebody, let it work, let it work, let it work, let it work, let it work. Life is filled with wind and turn, peaks and valleys, ups and downs, and bipolar moments, but you must embrace the process. Tell somebody, embrace the process. Tell them, embrace the process. You see, the process now is the things that God puts you through to get out of you what He deposited in you. It's never easy. Pressure and pain is almost always a must. Somebody help me say the process. In the process, you will have some lonely days, some sleepless nights, and some uncertain moments. At some point or another during the process, you will be surrounded by critics, skeptics, haters, and enemies that will no doubt cause you to question your purpose. Anybody here ever had to deal with skeptics and critics? I'm talking about folk that doubted your character, questioned your ability, and wanted you to mess up so badly, they wanted just anything to happen so that they could point their finger, shake their big old head, and utter these words. I knew she wasn't all she was cracked up to be, but is there anybody here know that I may not be all you think I should be, but I am what the Lord said I am. Shout glory! Glory! Somebody tell him thank you. Somebody shout thank you. Shout it again, thank you. Help me say the process. The process now is a difficult pace. There is pain in the process. Mother Wells, the process now is not a trip to the day spa. You won't be pampered with full body massages, pedicures and manicures, but there is pain in the process. Somebody help me say pain thistles. They're like porcupine. You try to get close to them, but they stick it to you every time. Somebody help me say purpose. When God is trying to get his purpose out of you, he sometimes surrounds you with the tip of the iceberg. These folk are very cold. In fact, they're so cold, I say they cold-blooded. They smile and talk to others. They intentionally try to overlook or exclude you. But don't despise your haters. They're really not hindering you, but they're pushing you to your own purpose. Listen, whenever you embrace the process, what you're saying to the enemy is keep it up. Look at your neighbor and tell him keep it up. You're pushing me to my purpose. Tell him keep lying on me. Keep talking about me. Keep trying to hold me back. Keep trying to sabotage me. See, trying to destroy me is pushing me to my purpose. Somebody, anybody, everybody, wave your hand and shout glory. Grab a neighbor by the hand and tell him I'm being pushed to my purpose. Tell him I'm uncomfortable right now. Tell him I'm in a little tight spot, but I'm being pushed to my purpose. You see, when God is trying to get his purpose out of you, he sometimes surround you with hellish folk, and he tell you to stay there and work with them. So all the while, you think you're there to work the hell out of them, but really they're there to work the hell out of you. Look at your neighbor and tell him, neighbor, God, he's working the devil out of me. Shout, work it out, God. Work out jealousy. Work out envy. Work out strife. Work out malice. Work out hatred. Work out unforgiveness. Work out intimidation. Work out manipulation. Shout, work it out. Shout, work it out. Shout, work it out. Somebody lift your hand and shout, work on me, Jesus. The Bible says, it says all things work together for good to those who love God and those who are called by God. Lady Hawkins, I understand that my assignment today may not be for everybody, but I do understand